Hello, namaskar, good morning. It's around 3:55 a.m. now, and I'm still trying to do some work, some karma yoga for people until I find another way to maneuver on to do other work. Of course, society has their own way of extracting karma yoga from you. I don't want to mention some of the ways this has been done, but they are very clever and smart people who can make you help or do karma yoga. But for my own voluntary way, this is one of the means I'm using, making videos. So namaskar, I'm Rajesh. It's Saturday, today's the 20th. Oh, incidentally, I think Mr. Donald Trump, there's a new American president is swearing in today, you know. Um, there's a lot of eyes on the net and the TV. I mean, people might have much chance to see my videos and so on, but by chance, if it pops up in between, please take a look. Now, I'm going to tell you about food, right? Since I've been doing yoga, and so the teachers have been telling me eat properly. You should eat on time, at least 3 meals a day. Some of them have snacks in between, what they call tiffin, like between breakfast and lunch, and between lunch and dinner they would take another snack like around 4 or 5 o'clock. It's not more, just a little drink or a piece of bread or some fruit or so. But I find there's a section of my church, my organization, where the people, they're very specific about foods, eating the right food, recipes, what kind of food, what kind of drink to use to clean the body, detox the body, colon cleansing they talk about. And also, apart from eating all these nice food and delicacy, to sustain and to retain and to maintain, people also abstain in another mark. Sometimes they fast, do dry fasting. Like people who are household or married people, they're supposed to fast 2 times a month. And the Ekadashis, those who are celibate, they fast 4 times a month. Like Amawas and Purnima. But these are all sciences, because by fasting, the moon can't have an effect on the liquid factors in the brain and the body. We draw the liquid factors up to the brain and make you moody. You see, during these fasting days, there increase of accidents, violence. So when you fast, you counter all these negative things. So my experience in Anamag is I find some acharyas like Javeshananda. He fasted 3 days many times without food, water, anything. I've seen men like Mr. Michael Jupiter, Mr. Vivek, though they are not very kind of the classical yogis, where we talk about purity and non-violence and ethics to the extreme level. They may not have this, but they fast very long days, 7 days, 10 days, maybe on liquid alone. And so the guru himself of my church, he fasted 5+ years using only a little snap glass of Horlicks, yogurt water. So people have this ability also to take energy from the sun. There are people around the world who they say abstain from food. They live by energy from the sun, by wind. There are cases, forget what you call these people who abstain from food. There's a name they call them. Can't remember now, so long I didn't follow or think about these kind of people. But here now in my church, where we do Tantra yoga, right? They say the practices, they take a lot of energy from you. Sometimes you would feel tired, sleepy, So they say you have to nourish your body well, make the body strong, So you have to eat regular. I have seen people in my church who don't eat regular, they caught up in their work. Some even forget to eat. There was one monk I was staying with. He forgot to eat. You have to remind him, oh, it's breakfast. And the young boys and monks, they would come to catch him and bring him down to eat food, because everybody has to wait for him to be with us at the table. He was staying in Paraguay, sometime in Brazil to stay with us there. So it's like that, you know. Food sometimes plays a very important for some people part, especially when you're young. You have to eat right. I've seen people who not regular with the food. I've said sometimes they started they will have stomach problem, a born stomach. I myself sometimes if I forget, sometimes I'm on the net or I'm watching video and I don't eat on time, you know. So what happen, or if you get caught up in some interest, some books, or you go somewhere or have to do something, you don't eat, forget to eat, and then you start feeling this acid in your stomach, this burning feeling, and your body starts be, because of tantric meditation, the energy. For example, like Qigong, they say when you do Qigong, the Chinese Qigong, it starts to create a change in your body. They start to move in, the vibration, acting over a period of time, long term, it start creating changes. It works slowly, gradually, but it's working by itself. Tai Chi is like that also. Once you do it, it start creating changes in the body. Same thing with Tantric, it causes the mantras, the practices, the guru presence in the body. You know, you need a lot of energy. So they say you're young, eat well, you have to have a strong body. Mens sana in corpore sana is Latin meaning a sound mind and a sound body. So I'm going to show you some of there in another mark. We have Bengali Bhakti by Avadutika Ananda Karunachar. I think she passed away. She was Baba's cook. He used to cook food for her guru. He used to give her all these recipes. I don't know how he knows them. He was not a traveling guru. He didn't spend time in the Himalayas with all the various cultures, but he knew so many recipes and he could give you, you know, so many. He used to give out to make jams and jellies, out to make all kind of food. How we get this knowledge, I don't know. But this is a Bengali cookbook and it has some very beautiful recipes inside. Dokla, Baigani, Kumru Pulir Bada, Shakir Bada, food you never heard about, plum chutney, Kashmiri dum, sweet cheese patty, fried sweet patty. Why people are so obsessed with food, you may want to ask? Because like in Buddhism, they say eat one meal a day. The monks, some people don't bother about food and all these things. But here, we have a science that is teaching you how to influence the mind. Like this book here said, food for thought. There are 3 classes of food. Sattvic, which is sentient food. By eating sattvic food, the body becomes more quiet and peaceful, feel purer. So those people who want good vibes in the body can also become vegetarian. And not only vegetarian, you have to avoid onion, garlic, mushrooms. So this doll lady who wrote this book here, we have Avadutika Ananda Mitra. I met her in Brazil. She was a doctor. She studied at Harvard University. She wrote this book here. She's a Jewish American woman, I think, according to what I hear. So we have food for thought. Food which affects the mind, producing good thought. For example, if you were to lead a celibate life, certain food principles. So that's why they're very particular about food in this school of yoga, you know. Sattvic food, Rajasic, Tamasic food, the whole science they have about foods. So like the Buddhist monk could argue, eat food 1 time a day. But their meditation is different. This is tantric meditation. It's very strong effect on the body. Then you have Cooking for Consciousness by Joy McCullough and Kendall Lane. This is another Ananda Mark publication. Has a lot of recipes. It's American writers, and the book is so adaptive to the American recipes, and with Indian is perfect blend between the Indian recipes and the American cuisine. We have a lot of herbs that you won't find here in Guyana. I hope one day people will become more au fait, more knowledgeable about these herbs. So cooking for consciousness means you cook, for example, when you cook, you can chant. Baba say you chant mantras, Baba Nam, Baba, or Hare Krishna, or Om Namah Shivaya. It has an effect on the food. Good food becomes prasad. when you sing. He said before you eat, you sing a minute, 2 minute kirtan to charge the food up, make it become a positive vibration which enter your body. It has a good effect on the body, on the mind, body heal. And so if you chant Babanam Kirtan, some nice mantra while you're cooking, before you eat. And so cooking for conscience is a whole science of cooking, you know. Some people say that only Brahmins, like in some organizations, say only Brahmins should cook food, touch the food and handle. They don't want untouchable people touching the food because it passing vibration and all sort of things. But here in Anamar, they say there's no untouchability. Everybody, you know, anybody can cook, but tantrics, they absorb these body energy easily. So here in Anamar, we do use spices, we use salt, we use jeera, masala, hing, asafoetida. We use because they say the spice will give you a little bit of fight in your system. If you become totally sattvic, you won't fight anymore. You can't live in the practical world, in the competitive world, you know. So by retaining some spices, tantrics are able to struggle, have a little bit of Raja Guna. So these are some books I'm sharing with you on how to in the life of this particular yoga group, tantric yoga organization, which is why people have to be careful in selecting food, handling food. We don't like all kind of people handling food. Our food, you know, something you go to the shops, the supermarket, all kind of people handle it. Vibrations can pass into your food depending upon the mind of the people, the thought, the nature. So you can have to absorb and deal with this kind of energy. For example, I know Swami from Divine Life Society. When he was invited into Europe, people tried to treat him nice by pampering, feeding them, giving him so much to eat. You know, that's one way of people express love. They give you food to eat. But, you know, better love is through psychic means, you know. And deeper emotional, psychic emotions. People can love and show more samskaric bondage and affiliations in another way. But when you're gonna love with food, so they pack him up with all kind of tin food, and so he said eating natural food, it was okay, you know. But when he drank some of the tin liquids and fluids, he started to feel pain in his joints and body. So that show how vibrations can pass from people to food, you know. Some gurus have sattvic people preparing food from them. You can have people like criminals baking bread and selling and giving you, you know, eating, and all kind of people handing your food. Some like once complained against this in a certain supermarket here in Guyana. People take delight in touching and handling when you're gonna eat. You know, people don't suffering and people are miserable, and they kind of pass their misery on to other people, and so out of ignorance. Like Jesus said, forgive them, they know not what they do. So I was saying there's a whole science behind the food culture. You know, a society and people can become better, they can improve, they can expand and grow if they only know the science of cooking, of gardening, and eating also. Baba said when you're eating, you should eat in a cross-leg position. Sit in a cross-leg way. If you could sit on the ground, is better. But who can do this? Only the advanced people who are committed and dedicated to yoga practices. They can sit in sukhasana with the food and they eat and so on. So here it's like people say it's impractical. Well, you gotta know what you value more. You value practicality, logic, and reasoning over your own health and comfort, your own well-being. You gotta know, if you want, people make sacrifice to get what they need. Many people I've seen making sacrifice. You know, one German Swami was here in Guyana. We went to visit the Catholic church and he took me to meet the bishop. He said he's a Catholic, he was born a Catholic. I said, Swamiji, so you renounced all of this luxury that the West had and all this standard of living to become a poor mendicant, a beggar, sadhu, Swami, for the sake of knowledge and wisdom and devotion and self-development. He didn't answer, he remained quiet. So he made all of that. They born, they're Christians, Catholic, came from a Catholic, and many of these European or Western people, and they sacrifice all of that went into poverty, abject poverty, you know. God give India poverty because only through poverty, obedience, and discipline you get poverty, obedience, chastity. Some people say you get God's favor, God's friendship, you know. God said, Saint Teresa, God tells somebody, God tells Saint Teresa, or Saint Teresa was talking with someone, he told her that God has few friends because he tests his friends very severely. Not everybody can become God and they're close to God, become his PA or personal contact like Keshawanan and Ramananji, you know. So there's so much to learn about cooking and eating, as I was saying. It's sometimes a very good things to know, you know. Let me, for example, I tell you, Baba said, he said, after certain hours you can't take certain food, like after 3 p.m. you shouldn't take certain foods, you know, like they told not to take cucumber, yogurt, or bananas in the afternoon. It's more better to eat it in the morning. So those are all food science. And before you get up in the morning, there's an exercise. What's the name of the exercise? You draw the feet to the chest and kick out. Utsepa Asan or something like that. Before you go to the toilet. And then proper use of food is very important when you're eating. Do not eat more than 4 kinds of food at one sitting. 4, or the body will become tamasic. Do not eat more than 3 times a day. All these things are good. Some chairs I've seen eat twice, morning, afternoon, and that's it. You know, so there's a discipline of food. They're able to control food. But now the importance of food is there. Eaten. So, but then again, there's abstain apart from eating and being healthy. I've seen many spiritual people in my church on forego food. They fast and they don't really attach. So they had power over eating and not eating. So that's how we see food plays an important part, you know, being vegan. You know, in lesson 1, you can have a meat diet in lesson 1 and 2. The first lesson and second lesson in my church, you can use the meat diet and so, but if you want a third lesson and go higher, you have to give up the meat, the onion, and garlic, because they say it will have a bad effect on the mind and the body. When you do these exercises, so you can go mad and crazy. If you're not a vegetarian and so on, you can have bad reaction and experiences psychologically, psychically. So you should have both control means to regulate, to do and not to do also when it's needed. So much about food, you know. Food is an important topic in the yogic science, you know. Eat to live, eat to be healthy, but not live to eat, you know. So so that's it, you know. When you do meditation and so, you also get a lot of power over your eating. You know, the desire or the craving for external stimuli is not there, you know. You can have more control, you know. And so let's hope more of us will become vegetarians, and when we go to the market, we're able to select our food in a very nice and practical way. Namaskar. Happy Saturday.